Okay, here we are at the very site of Emile Durkheim's grave. We have come almost 4,000 miles to get here to pay tribute to the master who wrote the book Suicide in 1897 and just had so much influence. As you can see in this editorial here, why we have made a small contribution. Durkheim at the Movies, A Century of Suicide in Film by Stephen Stack and Barbara Bowman. We wrote an editorial on how important he is and applied his thinking to movies. Now, if the cameraman can look down, you see we have left a copy of our editorial on Durkheim at the Movies right on his grave for everyone to see. So, Durkheim, in return for our present, if you could cite our book wherever you are, we would appreciate it, to draw attention not just to our book, but to you. Now, it should be noted that there's this rumor about people coming here to suicide. And there's a rumor that this is a suicide hotspot, but there's no truth to that rumor. This is not a suicide hotspot. There's also a rumor that Durkheim himself suicided, and that's not true at all. What happened was, in December 1915, his only son, he just had one. I had three, but he only had one. And his only son was killed in the trenches during World War I. And Durkheim became despondent, and he had a stroke and died of a stroke. So he did not suicide. Even though he wrote the book on suicide, he did not suicide himself. Durkheim was the first professor of sociology at the Sorbonne. And back then, they trained high school teachers, so his students were mainly the future high school students of France. So, next, we'll visit the grave of Jean Seberg, who's buried over there somewhere, and she committed suicide, but not Durkheim. And so now, why doesn't the cameraman get a full view of the grave here? You can see there's flowers.